Hi and welcome. Now in the previous video you've created API endpoints for text and event inputs from the user. Now you need to send them to DialogFlow. In this video we'll get to know DialogFlow module for Node.js that will help us to do this. To send requests to DialogFlow we'll use Node.js client. What this client can do is detect query intents, that is text, audio and streaming intent. It can create and delete entities and intents. It can also create and delete contacts and session type entities. What we'll use in this course is just the endpoints for detecting, that is querying intents. Before we can do this, we need to install this module. Go to terminal, to project folder, and write npm install DialogFlow --save. This will now take a while. Before we can use it, we need to do some more things. If you go to GitHub page, link is in the resources, and scroll to before you begin, there are some things to do before we can proceed. The first three we can ignore. Why? Because we already have a Google project connected to DialogFlow. We don't need billing since we're using the free version of DialogFlow, and the DialogFlow API is already enabled for our project. What we need to work on is authentication. Since DialogFlow has been acquired by Google, this is a more complex task to do, but I'll guide you through each step in the process. Once you know what to do, it's much simpler, but getting to the documentation and finding out what needs to be done is a process. But I'm here to help. What you'll need to do is create another service account, give it permission of DialogFlow client, meaning it'll have rights to query intents and read and write session data. Okay. How do we do this? Simple. Go to DialogFlow, to your agent, and then click Settings, the gear icon up here. In the General tab, you'll have listed the service account from Google. We talked about service accounts in one of the previous videos. If you've missed it, I suggest you go back and watch it so you'll know how authentication is done behind the scenes. Okay, now click the service account name. You'll be redirected to Google Cloud Console, to service accounts of your Google project. Here we can see that we already have an account, that is the account DialogFlow uses. What you'll do now is create another service account with the client access permissions. To do so, click the Create Service Account. This interface will open. Write in the service account name something like DialogFlow client. Now we need to give it a role. With the role we give it permission, and in here I'll find DialogFlow, and then I'll select DialogFlow client. Reader won't be okay because reader has no querying rights, it cannot query intents, and admin is too much rights. After selection client role, click a Furnish New Private Key checkbox. Why? Because we need to download the JSON with the key. We'll need to use it in our Node.js client, okay? After you have all clicked Save, you'll be able to download the JSON file now. Save it somewhere safe, not in the project structure. We don't want to commit this file with the source code. That would not be safe. Put it somewhere else. I have a keys folder and I'll put it there. Good. If you lose this file, you won't be able to get it later. It's a one-time deal. Okay, before we move on, we'll take a little break. I don't want this video to be too long. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.